Hello, my name is Carolyn Boykin, and I'll be reading from my thesis, Perverse Spirits. Overhead, Clyde heard the slide of a window sash being raised and stepped back just in time to avoid the contents of a slop jar being hurled from the window above him. A head, covered with brown paper bag curlers, poked out over the sill. Dark eyes set in a round face squinted at him just before the mouth beneath them dropped open, howling with laughter. Boy, what the hell you doing standing out there in the dark? Black as you is, I damn near can't see you. And you was about to be covered in shit and piss. Um, I just be looking for he stopped to control his stutter. Looking for work, ma'am. Y'all got any? Wait right there. I'll come down and get you, she said, her head retreating inside. Moments later, she appeared at the side door, beckoning him forward. Following the woman, Clyde tried not to watch the sway of her behind, clearly visible beneath the sheer fabric of the robe and nightdress she wore. As they made their way up a set of creaking stairs leading to the second floor, his nose wrinkled at the smell of whiskey and stale cigar smoke wafting through the halls. Stopping, they eased into a small, cramped room, and Clyde let out a breath, hanging his head and avoiding eye contact. His hands found their way into his pockets, clenching tightly. Two other women lounged on their beds, their legs spread apart beneath the layers of lace on the gowns they wore. Clyde could see the shadow of their womanhood beneath the reds and blues of their garments. He felt his face heat with embarrassment. He say he looking for work, the woman explained to their questioning faces, then asked, What's your name? Clyde. His voice was barely more than a whisper. Speak up, honey. Don't be shamed. I'm Baby Doll. She's Sugar. And her over there, she be Sweetness. Clyde cleared his throat, glancing quickly at the woman sprawled on the bed. Then, averting his eyes, he spoke again. I's obliged to meet you, ladies. All three women burst into gales of laughter again, Sugar collapsing onto a plush burgundy velvet armchair near the window. Clyde stared at them, confused. You just keep on calling us ladies, and you sure can work for us, Baby Doll gasped, sucking in deep breaths and trying to control the mirth that kept rising up. But you is ladies. Y'all ain't men's, he replied, his words stuttering over themselves. This caused another bout of hilarity, the women holding their stomachs and sides, reaching up to wipe tears from their eyes. Clyde could feel the darkness building as the laughter fell around him, his head sinking lower, his chin resting on his chest. Clyde, how old are you? Sugar asked, taking a deep breath. Clyde lifted his head and pulled himself up straight before he answered. 10. Shit, you big for 10. You almost the size of a grown man, except in them legs. What wrong with your legs? Sweetness asked, her hand waving the red feather boa that draped over her negligee. Clyde lowered his head again, refusing to answer, his skin heating, the dark swirls of his anger swimming in his head, his hands opening and closing inside his pockets. Don't mind her, boy, Sugar said, rolling her eyes in her friend's direction before looking back at Clyde. Well, you old enough to know what this is, child. This a hoe house. Clyde's features remained blank as he looked from one woman to another. Damn, he ugly and stupid, Sweetness harumphed loudly, crabbing backwards towards the headboard and ignoring Sugar as she slapped at the air in front of her. You really don't know, do you? Sugar asked softly. When he shook his head, she continued. This where men comes to be with women, you know? From across the room, Sweetness held Clyde's eyes with her own. Lifting her hand to her mouth, she sucked her index finger until it glistened, then dipped it into the dark cleft between her thighs. Bringing it back, she waved the finger in front of her face before curling it to beckon at him. All men's want something sweet ever now and then, she purred, her words throaty and sensuous. He could smell it, the scent like the one he had sniffed from his mother some nights, lingering beneath the smell of her skin and her milk, the one that caused a stirring, the one he felt now. Desire crawled through him, bringing with it a bittersweet aftertaste of want as his man parts stiffened. Clyde's head snapped up and his eyes rounded in horror, the memory of his mother's belt smacking against his palms flickering in his mind. His arm raised, his finger pointed in accusation. Harlots! Y'all is Jezebel women's. My mama done told me about you. Y'all is sinners, he screamed.